This right next to me is your new MG3, and it used to be Australia's cheapest car that was priced around $18,000, whereas this new generation has a price tag from just over $23,000, but this new platform is bigger in size and it comes with more safety tech, and as well as the choice between this petrol powered version and the hybrid version, which will set you back an additional $4,000. So therefore, there are a lot of good things to talk about with this all new generation, and a few shortcomings that you might want to know about as well. So in this full detailed review, I will be telling you everything you need to know about it. Let's start off with a brief overview about the new MG3. So it has a price range from just under $24,000 going up to $25,990 for the Essence, whereas the hybrid versions are priced from $27,990. And in terms of competitors, this is the type of vehicle that you're going to compare with the Kia Picanto, as well as the new generation Suzuki Swift Hybrid. Right, moving on to the design. So the color, it is finished off in pastel yellow, which is of course a no-cost option. But if you don't like this color, there are 7 other external colors to choose from. And this being the Essence trim, you get LED DRLs along with partial LED headlights, whereas the standard Excite version only comes with halogen headlights. And looking lower down, you've got a big MG badge along with a big large radiator grille with these gloss black inserts. And lastly, this front splitter on the bumper with this carbon textured material. And if we move towards the side view of the MG3, it sits on 16-inch alloy wheels that are finished off in gloss black and also complemented by the silver finish. And you also get electric folding heated mirrors. And this being the Essence trim, it comes with keyless entry, whereas on the standard Excite, it doesn't come with that feature, which I think as standard it should. And if we look on top of the roof, this has a power tilt and sliding sunroof, which again is available when you step up to this Essence trim. And finally, moving towards the rear design of the MG3, it features these nice looking tail lights at the back, along with an MG badge on the tailgate, a plastic rear diffuser down the bottom for a bit of style. And lastly, styling is subjective, so write down your feedback in the comment section down below of what you think of the new MG3. Okay, moving on to the cabin. So before you climb inside, this car features a remote key, push button start standard across the range, and specific to this Essence trim, it comes with keyless entry. So inside the MG3, what do we think about the design? Well, in comparison with the previous generation of the MG3, this is a big step up, not only in size, but even just the look of it. So overall, MG has put in a lot of effort in terms of the design front. And you also get this nice textured material across the dash. And in terms of build quality, up the top here, it is hard plastic, even when you look lower down towards the center console, on top of the doors, and even lower down on the doors, along with soft padding across the console and even soft padding on the doors and where you rest your elbow. Soft to the touch armrest as well. And this being the Essence trim, opposed to having fabric seats like what's featured on the Excite, it comes with part faux leather and part fabric seats. And in addition to that, it also features a leather wrap steering wheel. And in terms of adjustment, it does only come with tilt adjustment, not reach. But apart from that, both the front row seats offer plenty of manual adjustment. And there is also dual zone climate control built in within the infotainment. And in regards to the infotainment itself, it all runs off this 10.25-inch display. And this is what the main menu looks like. So overall, pretty straightforward, as well as buttons on the steering wheel to control various functions throughout the infotainment, as well as physical buttons for volume, climate. And if I just run you through its key features, it has AM and FM radio, along with Bluetooth, USB connectivity, and USB video, voice control, which only works when you do plug in your mobile phone, and a 6-speaker stereo system. And in regards to smartphone mirroring, you have both wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it also integrates well within the infotainment. Now, when you step up to this Essence trim, not only you're getting inbuilt satellite navigation with 3D mapping, and this is what that looks like on the screen, you also get DAB digital radio, along with the ability to connect this car with your smartphone with MG's app, so you can lock and unlock the doors, locate the car, and access a wide range of features. And if we move on to safety and assistance, you also get a 360-degree camera with multi-angle views. As you can see, you can move around the car, and you could also look at your gutter views as well. And moving on to other safety items, it also comes with autonomous emergency braking. In addition to that, there's also traffic sign recognition, as well as adaptive cruise control that keeps you within distance with the car in front of you. There's also a lane keeping assistant and a steering assist, where the MG3 has the ability to steer itself within its lane. And on the wing mirrors, blind spot monitoring, and right behind me, rear parking sensors, along with a rear cross traffic alert. And moving on to the center cluster, it is 7 inches in size and very similar to what's on the MG4 electric. And on the left hand side, it shows driver assistance, whereas on the right hand side, it shows you things like tire pressure, voltage, service information, and finally fuel consumption. And lastly, storage and connectivity. So you do have a USB port for dash cams, and also up the top here, you've got a spot here for sunglasses. And if we look lower down, a decent sized glove box, which overall is pretty spacious. If I open up the armrest, it features adjustable storage over here, where you can remove this sliding section, as well as the ability to adjust this tab on what storage system you want. And there is also a spot there for a mobile phone, along with a 12-volt socket, USB-C and USB-A port. And looking towards the center, you've got 2 cup holders. And finally, on the doors, decent door bin storage that could also fit a bottle of water. Right, moving on to the back seats inside the MG3. So this front row seat is set in my driving position, and from what we can see, there is a decent amount of knee room, decent toe room, and headroom is pretty good as well. If I move over to the middle seat, again, good knee room, toe room, and headroom if I sit up straight, considering that there is a small transmission tunnel. And in regards to other key features, behind the front seats, there are these map pockets, and towards the center, directional air vents, along with a single USB-A port and a spot down there for a mobile phone, as well as a light above me. No central armrest, however, but you do get decent door bin storage on the doors. And finally, these 2 outboard seats are ISOFIX compatible, and right behind me, there are 3 top tether points. Right, moving on to boot space. So the MG3 has a capacity figure of 293 litres, which means there is enough space for 2 carry-on suitcases. There is also a handy shopping bag hook on the right hand side, and on the left hand side an LED light, as well as this warning triangle on the floor. And underneath the floor itself, this petrol version comes with a space saver spare tyre, whereas on the hybrid version of the MG3 it does not come with any spare tyre. And whilst you can drop down the second row for additional space and capacity, it is only a single piece, not a split folding arrangement. So if you are carrying a baby seat in the back and you need to carry a long item, you can't really do that at the same time, whether that matters to you or not. But overall, space back here is very good for the segment. Let's now move on to the engine. So under the bonnet of the petrol powered MG3 is a 1.5 litre non-turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that produces 81 kilowatts and 142 newton meters of torque, sending all of its power to the front wheels through a CVT automatic transmission. And in regards to fuel consumption, this petrol version is claimed to achieve 6 litres per 100, whereas during my road test between Sydney and Barrel, I managed to achieve a figure of 7.3 litres per 100. And like I mentioned, you can get the MG3 in a hybrid version, and that has claimed figure of 4.3 litres per 100, and during my road test, I managed to achieve 4.8 litres per 100. And in regards to ownership details, the MG3 comes with a 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty, along with 7 years of roadside assistance. Just a quick update, MG Australia now offers a 10-year 250 kilometre warranty. There are conditions, so I'll put a link down in the description below, so check that out if that applies to you. And finally, every service interval is around 12 months or 10,000 kilometres. So let's get it out on the road and see how it performs. Okay, behind the wheel inside the petrol powered MG3, what is it like to drive? Well, first up you have a traditional gear selector opposed to a rotary dial like what is featured on the hybrid. And there is also great vision from the front, as well as good side vision and decent sized wing mirrors, and rear visibility is also pretty good as well. And in terms of the steering, it is a nice steering feel, dynamically not a sports car, but I've got a good sense of direction of what the front wheels are doing. And some motoring journalists claimed that the steering wheel was too big, but I don't mind it, quite like it. And refinement wise, the suspension is on the soft side, so that is a good thing if you're in the city. The brakes are a bit soft as well, not as firm like what you would expect on a tiny little Volkswagen Polo, but again, that is more expensive. And in terms of driver assistance, the adaptive cruise control worked really well on the freeway. However, the steering assist wasn't the best system I ever came across. But overall, again, for this price point, it all works pretty well. And in terms of acceleration, if I put my foot down, a bit of groan from the CVT, 80 kilometers, and 100. So in my opinion, it does lack a bit of power. It's not as punchy, especially in comparison with the hybrid version. And I did have a bit of trouble overtaking on the freeway. Yes, the hybrid's going to be a little bit better on efficiency, and it does feel a bit more punchier. And of course at higher speeds, as you can hear, there is a little bit of wind noise, not so much tyre noise or anything else. So my driving impressions out of the way, let's now wrap up with a verdict. So what is my final verdict on the new MG3? Well, in comparison to the previous generation, it is more expensive, but it is a big step up in terms of the equipment you're getting. And of course it comes with more added safety tech, and it's also much better to drive as well. But would I be tempted to spend an additional $4,000 for the hybrid just for that added fuel consumption figure and a bit more power? I'm still not 100% sure, but let me know your feedback in the comment section down below of which one you would choose. And of course, if you gained value from this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to receive notifications every time I upload a new car video. But for now, I will see you in the next film. Thanks for watching.